Fast forward, any come our channel is how age politics are very. Podcast or training because making headlines. Jemre, EDB Exomo, our Nidim Yahoo Broxiums, and the AD Kanyam. So which must subscribe to the channel. When I saw which my notification bell also share not a France of answer into me and Kabi. Nidiama, Yambo and Raya political highways, Unia, Yadama, and ya Assem Potrakra, not Ningan accept. A year, Solomon also it me a PMO, a year key point. So na ɛhɔ ɛna wɔkyerɛ n'adwene ɛfa ɛyɛ Ken Ofori Atta the extradition na Attorney General and so ɛyɛ government accountability series a wɔde etu dwa sɛ TCR no papa no etimi akɔfa lawyers a wɔn US a wɔn yɛ kuku dampa the senti sɛ yɛde ne ɛba ɛyɛ Ghana ha sie no ayɛ den no wɔkyerɛ sɛ Solomon Owusu ɛkyerɛ sɛ nipa no wɔde bɔne lawyer bɛn paa na ebetumi twitwa obi a a dead face in the pan with the body. With the bonnet, say Emrano, and then the says one pass with the bonia. Ye need why they could try, say, a fat top notch lawyers are the same thing. Ye never gonna has Yakoyas for their mind. A panic can be at this point in time, why I'm Raymond Romney and near Cornelia. I age politics have it.
That case that you have the 78 charges and others slapped on him and Sakori. Manasseh is joining us.
Manasseh, the US that they will not extradite a police officer because of that. So we can use this as an example. Send this person. Also send this person.
Hold on. Manasseh, can you unmute for me? Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. And Mr. Lomon, also, this is what the Attorney General has given to us in terms of the update. What is of issue is whether the days after this particular request for extradition of Ken Ofori Atta should be left solely to the discretion and the period that the U.S. authorities will work on, because that's what he says. He says much of it is outside of his control. So there are no timelines. We can't even tell when it's going to come. Professor Bafaj-Mendia, based on his experience and knowledge of this extradition processes, it can take quite a while. And so it appears we may have to wait for a long time with Ken Ofori Atta hiring top lawyers to fight this.
There is no top lawyer that can defend a criminal and succeed.
But you can't actually call him a criminal.
No, I'm just, I've not said he's a criminal.
You are not referencing, this statement is not in direct reference to
No. If it is reference, I'll say it. Okay, right. But the point is that if you have stolen, you have stolen. If the country knows that Mr. ABCD has stolen and you have caught him red-handed, no amount of advocacy from a lawyer will save the situation if truth will prevail. If the government does not push, they must push the United States of America to do what is right. We cannot be saying that someone is sitting on our billions and you hide under the cover of laws in the US and say that he must remain there while these twinkle latest Abu Trika and go are only taking under 10 million, you come and quickly take them. No. But you see, Alfred, why we are where we are today is that our legislative arm has disappointed this country.
What do you mean?
The parliament of the last administration, the 7th and the 8th parliament, we must heap all the blames on them for not defending the integrity of this country. Ken Ofori Atta, are you surprised with it? With what is happening? In 1999, 1998, the Obotan Development Limited scandal, that criminality, that took away $2.4 million from Snitch. Everyone who mattered in Ghana's politics knew of that. Some of us in 2017, when he was going for vetting, we petitioned Parliament that do not approve this man because SFO investigation has revealed that he has to be prosecuted for swindling the whole state institution.
You reference which SFO reported?
SFO report, I'll get you the report. I mean, SFO did a comprehensive report on the Obotan Development Limited when they created the impression that they were going to put up assets. Here, this, your...
So what was the response of Parliament's Appointments Committee based on this?
They wouldn't even have courtesy to respond to you. They did not ask a single question on that matter. They approved him to be your Minister of Finance. That came, we thought that the MPP had an overwhelming majority then, so they could pass through. Then, thankfully, the Ghanaians did not do us any evil. They gave us a hung parliament. And here is why I come to the National Democratic Congress. They gave us a hung parliament in 2020. 2021, we went back and told them that do not approve Ken Ofori-Atta for he would destroy this country. At that time, I was in the MPP. Interestingly, the man was able to defer his vetting. He went and stayed in the US and they told him that he was sick. The same thing he's doing today. And refused to attend the vetting on time. Interesting, Parliament, overwhelmingly from both sides. They approved of his nomination. So if you had an issue of Obutai having swindled the entire country, and you allow him to get away with it.
You make available that report.
I will make it available. There's everywhere, SFO everywhere. You think he will not have, he wouldn't have been emboldened to swindle the entire country in all the scandals we are discussing? You ask, there's somebody that asks a simple question. Prof?
It's a matter of investigation.
Which one?
As to whether he has swindled or not.
You see?
Is it not?
The Attorney General.
That's why I'm saying that the Attorney General himself,
yes,
having said this,
yes,
to the extent that this is a matter in issue,
yes,
you can't make such a conclusive statement.
The thing is that when the Attorney General goes to court or the OSP goes to court, they do not say alleged. They say the man has stolen. That's what I go with.
They are charging him.
They have charged him
and they
for
have
stealing.
To prove beyond
so
doubt.
You see, my tax pays the Attorney General, he pays the OSP. He said he has stolen.
So the charge, which is
the charge says he has stolen. That is what I'm going with.
Well, I'm not arguing with you.
Yes.
I'm only telling you that there's a charge.
Yes.
Which has to be proven beyond reasonable doubt.
I don't have a problem.
So
but
you don't have to make conclusive.
No, the man says the charge. So what I'm saying is that if we had dealt with Obotan case constructively and seriously, he wouldn't have become a finance minister, let alone to dissipate, lead, cause. The very reason he's in the United States must be the reason he must be in Ghana. He said he's sick. He's attending Mayo Clinic. What investment did he make in infrastructure, in terms of health infrastructure, so that the ordinary Ghanaian, when he's sick, he can also receive such treatments? He has our money. He was controlling affairs. So he has the luxury of attending expensive health centers. What about the ordinary Ghanaian? Now, on the 24th of January 2025, the OSP told us that he has officially notified Ken Ofori-Atta that he was under investigation on 5 different cases. Remember this, one out of the 5. He spoke of the PDS, he spoke of the National Cathedral and so on. So this is one aspect of it. Now, on the 31st of January, the lawyers in this country, sometime in fact that you are doing your advocacy, you must also have the country at heart.
What do you mean by
what did his lawyers say? The lawyers came to tell us that he was out of the jurisdiction, he was never going to come back. And that they were ready to be answering whatever questions the OSP had. You were going to answer questions bordering on criminality. Were you the ones that were the finance ministers? To have told the entire country that you were ready to answer questions.
But that's not wrong.
What is wrong about if you are being charged on criminal matters, you will go and answer?
Okay. Are you faulting his lawyers for doing their job?
Now listen, I'm giving you chronology of events. Now when the OSP said on the 5th of February that look, we will not accept this claim, they quickly introduced a letter from Mayo Clinic, fake one as such. Fake one as such.
It was proven to be fake.
Everything about that document was fake.
Did you write to Mayo Clinic?
When you send them email, nobody answers. And I'm saying it's fake.
Because they didn't respond.
Nobody had, look, that letter they brought was never addressed to any governmental agency. So whom were they writing to? All of a sudden, that letter popped up. That letter, they came to tell us that Ken Ofori-Atta was going to come to this country on the 2nd of June. On the 2nd of June. Afena rather even went to court. Said in Parliament that he was going to come in May. The OSP said 2nd of June, we will expect him. That was when they started playing games with us. I've told you that if we are not going to be serious as a country, these people will swindle us. So Ken Ofori-Atta is never going to come today, it's never going to come tomorrow. What it is that he has accepted that indeed he is sitting on our money, I won't come with the money. That's what he's telling us.
Well, you see.
That's what he's telling us.
And that is the point where Manasseh earlier when we spoke, Manasseh, I'm going to bring you in, but I just wanted Dr. Zato to know this, that you see, when the Attorney General was asked the question of this extradition, what he referenced as reciprocal extradition, that you have this person, I need this person, so bring this other person. That answer, we're going to pull up the video for you. But his response was quite clear, that they have made an application both for Ken Ofori-Atta, and not just him alone, and Ferdinand Tamaklo as well. Okay, so that process is in place. You want them to now say that because you need Abutrika, bring one of the two. It is not within the domain of the Attorney General, he says, to, as it were, make that particular demand, because there's a treaty that outlines exactly what has to be done.
Seriously, why
but
not?
They Ferdinand Tamaklo and also Ken Ofori-Atta have both been the subjects of a request for extradition. That is what the Attorney General gave us in that update. Manasseh, if the Attorney General says that what happens after today is not within his control, are there other alternatives that could be looked at in getting Ken Ofori-Atta to come and answer questions, and not just leave it to as long as this extradition process will take, which we are learning that it will take quite a while, especially because of Ken Ofori-Atta exercising his rights to get top lawyers to fight this?
Well, thank you very much. And I think when some of us, myself and Mr. Martin Kwebu, were concerned about certain delays, even in starting the investigation, some people wanted us to just say, well, the process has finally finished. So what is your point in all of this? If certain actions perhaps were taken earlier, some of these things would have been avoided. But having said that, it is often very difficult, even in this country. And I'm making a general example, that the petty thieves are very easy to deal with. The grand thieves are difficult to deal with. If someone steals a tuber of yam, within a week, we read news that they are jailed 5 years or a number of months. But if somebody steals $5 billion belonging to the state, it takes forever, even if they're in the country, because they have the resources to be able to frustrate the system, to hire the best of lawyers, and do everything they can to. Sometimes it even goes beyond the legal. Some even have international connections that they pull strings to defend them in this situation. So the Attorney General is partly correct, but the part I don't agree completely with him is to suggest that, well, it is out of our hands. I know, I'm not an expert, but I know that beyond the legal issues, there are also some international relations issues, how Ghana relates with the US. There are many things that go on behind the scenes. And if anybody follows immigration issues in the US these days, there are students with valid visas who have, for one reason or the other, been refused entry while they are coming back. Some have even been permanent residents in the US. And sometimes when you read the reports, the response from the government is that, look, you don't have the right to be in the US. It is a privilege. And so we have had reports of certain people being deported who have permanent US citizenship and all of that. The point I'm trying to make is that beyond the law, there are other means through which some of these bilateral relations can be, or issues can be conducted behind the scenes. Some diplomatic pressures can be brought to bear. Some people are fighting back home here that Ghana has accepted some deportees to West Africa without following the law and all of that. Of course, a number of countries have also been put on certain travel restrictions to the US. Ghana has been taken off. So there are many trade-offs that go on behind the scenes that we do not know. But I think that if the state of Ghana is very committed, the Attorney General at this point should go beyond what has been done. It is a bit disturbing to hear, quoting the Attorney General, that the office received a formal request for extradition on the 19th of November. This is almost a year after Ken Ofori-Atta had left. And of course, those of us who pursued this case and petitioned the OSP know that, as Dr. Zato is saying, why should it take a year? And I hear my friend Justice Abdullah talking about formalities. The main point is, which I made when these controversies emerged, was that at the time Ken was leaving, there was no investigation being done. So the investigation has now completed. It is delayed. And if we are requesting it now, it will take some time. And if I do not want to even talk like a doomsday prophet, it is possible that this Attorney General would finish his tenure without Ken coming back if all these legal dribblings are to be exhausted and all of that. But the government of the Republic of Ghana may need to just say, well, we have done a request, so let's sit down. If that happens, we may not likely get any response soon, but we have other trade-offs that we are currently engaged in with the United States, which I think all of those ones should be triggered. And by the 14th of February 2026, Ken Ofori-Atta's US visa will have expired. He will be vulnerable, and within that period, anything can happen. So the point is that the Attorney General should not just say we have done our part. The government of Ghana shouldn't say we have written. Normally, even when we write letters here in our country and you don't follow up, someone may leave it somewhere. So much has to be done to ensure that Ken comes back to answer for the pain he's put people through. If you were at the Ministry of Finance and you would wake up and see people who had served the nation diligently, gone on retirement, and could not afford medications because their bonds and investments were locked, and these were locked because the state borrowed in our name, dissipated those funds, got us into so much debt, and everybody was suffering. As we speak, from time to time, I have people who tell me even Ken's own data bank, they have investment there that they cannot get as and when they need it. And all of this mess has been supervised by someone who would see old men crying, but still have the courage to do deals such as SML. And I think we need to bring such a person back to the country to face a trial, just like others are doing. Those who are here are not dead. Nobody has put them in Sawam without trial. So I see no reason why he should be running away.
Lawyer Martin Kpebu says the citizens' power is one of the alternatives that can be exercised in this regard. He's talking about demonstrations, peaceful protests, to submit a petition to the U.S. Embassy, for instance, and is that a potent tool to deploy? And this is a question I'll ask you, Amaliba, as well. Yes, Manasseh.
Yes, it is part of the pressure. One thing I've realized is that in any society that the government takes people seriously, the people who are in charge of affairs are not just angels. The government will take you seriously when you take yourself seriously. So if we, the citizens, go to bed, if we, the citizens, sometimes even begin to attack those putting their life on the line for our collective interest, and they begin to ask you, so what is your interest? Why do you hate this person so much? And all of that. I think if our government gets to know that, look, we as a people are serious about it. We want the government of Ghana to put pressure and some diplomatic more work into this process. But they will not just get up and act if nothing is happening. Sometimes when the pressure comes, you see some of the responses from the OSP, the Attorney General, and others when there is heat on them. So my point is, we shouldn't just go to bed also as a people. Whatever mild pressure, hard pressure that we can put on our duty bearers and tell them that, look, it shouldn't be just business as usual. There have been certain lapses in the past that allowed this man to go out, but there is a way to bring this person back. Get up and act.
Right.
We should be able to put that pressure and then hope that the leaders who are acting on our behalf will respond to it and act appropriately.
Manasseh, thank you. Lawyer Godwin Ejudi Tamaklo says, good morning, Alfred, and your esteemed panelists. Tell Dr. Zato it should be like for like. Ken has charges filed against him in Ghanaian court. Abutrika has been indicted in the United States. It should be like for like. Bringing the Sedinab Tamaklo into this conversation, he says, is mischievous and diversionary. Red herring, Ken for Abutrika, like for like. That is what lawyer Ejudi Tamaklo says. But in fact, on this particular issue, and Lawyer Martin Kpebu, I bring in here because that argument of like for like was a question that was put to the Attorney General. We were trying to pull up the video earlier, but we have it. And this was his response to it. Take a look.
The principle of reciprocity, whether we should expect that the U.S. authorities, having taken some Ghanaians by way of extradition to the United States of America, will also, in exchange, reciprocate by extraditing Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana. Now, the principle of reciprocity underlines extradition proceedings. And usually, without a bilateral treaty or a multilateral treaty arrangement that obligates a state to extradite persons accused of crime that are found within its territory to another country, usually extradition cannot take place. In the case of Ghana and the United States of America, there is a 1931 extradition treaty that was signed between the United States of America and Great Britain when Ghana was a colony of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Now that treaty expired as far as the United Kingdom is concerned. So it's no longer applicable between the United States and the United Kingdom. But it has not expired. It was renewed when we became independent in 1957. And so it is still in existence between Ghana and the United States. Now, if you look at Article 3,
Attorney General, responding to this like-for-like reciprocal, proposal that has been made that, well, if we need Ken Ofori-Atta, then we are giving Abutrika and others, then we should make that demand as well. That's his explanation to it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, it's good. It's good. The key part we should be celebrating now is the fact that
we ain't some who do course watching you so. I'm not so Jemre or Harasene so bad in the Adomia. If I sound about not just Muipa, a politics of it.